Ever wondered why some stages look pure art and some stages just don't? It's because of stage lighting done right. It's so exciting and feels like a mythological god in such a show where thousands of people around. And you have few faders that you can control to bring their energies up and down, make them dance to music, relax, and sometimes get them out of the venue. If you want to start learning and get complete introduction to stage lighting, you are in the right place. In this video, we will get into the basics of stage lighting. Yes, there are hundreds of DMX lighting fixtures, but we're going to learn the type and category of DMX lighting. We will learn how to connect them to your controller from basic to intermediate. And then you will be able to understand what all these cool guys talking about. And dig into what we mean by controllers and why they are so cool. And yes, we don't need all the lights to create our shows for days. We will talk about lighting visualizers in a bit that helps us to design and create shows. Hi, my name is Junaid Sabir Ahmed and we are going to learn about all you need to know about DMX stage lighting in this episode of All About Stage Shows. Let's start with what are the types of stage lighting fixtures available. Yes, they all have fancy shapes and often confusing names in this mysterious world of original and fake fixtures. Yet, we can still categorize them into bulk or gross types. There are Parkins, a classic analog warm light. When it was born, it had on and off button only. When they grew up with time, gradually this power had a dimmer added. So you had control to the flow of electricity being passed to the light and you could dim down the light. This power got into digital era and changed to LED power, lower power consumption but better color control. Then they added moving heads which can move heads. That means they can shoot a moving beam and create more shapes. Many of them have more functions such as prism, gobo, focus and many more. There are fixtures like blinders which are used to blind people away. Jokes apart, they are very essential to divert the attention while stage transition is going on and the band is changing. So blinders are used to divert the concentration of audiences to somewhere else. There are many types of fixtures out there. It's very hard to cover them in one video. I'm sure we're going to make more videos on this fixture, specifically onto types or categories or fixture specific. So write down in the comment below if you want us to make some. So there are many fixtures such as strobe, LED wash, bar, spider, twin heads, quad heads, octa heads, moving pixels, spinning pixels, and a lot of interesting ones. Haze machines are very essential fixture for lighting designers because hazes make lighting beams visible. So how do we set up a light? Simple, we just put them somewhere on floor, maybe on stage, and we can hang them using hooks or mounts. For hanging lights, it starts from mounting them on this thing called T-bar. You can set it anywhere. When you start getting bigger and need to mount more lights above the stage, there comes the trussing for lights. Now you get to hang many fixtures and create interesting shapes only by arranging them creatively. A trussing system makes your canvas for art at the primary level, and the secondary level will be using them creatively. So we understand there are many types of fixtures, but how do all of them listen to our controllers? A fixture receives signals and react to it by channels. Let's say this classic per had one dimmer and one channel to control that dimmer. When we send 0 to this channel, it does nothing. When we gradually increase up to 255, it lights full. Just note DMX channel range is 0 to 255. So until now, we have one channel, that is our dimmer. What if the fixture got digital, means LED based, and it had more functions and more colors? Such as this one. This one is a generic LED power which has few channel modes. When this is set to 8 channel mode, the first channel would be dimmer and the second channel would be red. So after adding red, I could dim it down and the third channel would be green and the fourth channel would be blue. So I could mix the color and save as a preset on a desired color palette. For this specific fixture, on the 5th channel, we have warm color, which is very good for skin tones. And of course, we could mix our colors and maybe save it to any button of the controller. So we could use more functions such as strobe and maybe use auto color, which is very useful for venue lighting. Moving heads come with more features such as pan or maybe tilt. This one to be the dimmer. We can have more functions such as strobe, and of course we could have color gels. I know you must be wondering why I'm not talking about these two lights in this video which is made on lighting, because this is a special one and I left this for the later part of this video. Some fixtures have built-in effects such as this one. This is Shades Patchwall LED Wash RGBWA plus UV. I know, fancy, right? When these fixtures are set to 12 channel mode, we can access the functions built inside these fixtures and make creative shapes and lines, such as this. You can get access to even more customization if you set them to 108, 112 and 120 channel mode. I am going to leave a link for a video in the description where I made in-depth video of these fixtures. So lighting fixtures are cool, but what makes them dance? If you like this video, hit a like and follow along because we are going to talk about controllers. Before getting into controllers, we have to understand one thing. A controller is just sending the trigger or control data and manipulate functions that a fixture have built inside. So, number 1, fixtures are the one who must be capable of certain features and function, and number 2, the control data we are sending from a controller are light. This is very important to remember for the next part of this video. Again, there are many types of controller available in the stream of original and fake markets. In groups, they can be categorized into 2 types. Hardware-based lighting controllers. So modern stage lighting controllers start with a basic hardware-based DMX controller. As I mentioned before, the data needed to be processed for controlling the lighting fixtures are very light. So this DMX controller can calculate enough data to control few lights. It just needs a calculator-like chip inside to do so. When it starts getting bigger, needs to connect and control more fixtures with more ease, more memories and more functions, the DMX controller desk starts getting bigger. So does the chip inside becomes mini Raspberry Pi or mini Windows, processing more complicated programming. We can still categorize them as hardware-based lighting controllers until the next category to be computer-based lighting controllers. This way, we can use a full power of a PC or a laptop or a MacBook and use a lighting software to make lighting shows and program it to some common protocol that any fixture would listen. With this, you can still make your shows when you're home until your girlfriend or wife breaks your laptop. Now! In reality, modern days lighting controllers travel between hardware-based and computer-based, and sometimes it's a computer being added to your controller. So far we understand lighting fixtures listen using channels and we have types of controllers to talk to them, but how do we talk to them specifically to one fixture or maybe a group? DMX addresses. In classic days, lighting controller, the dimmer was connected to the desk using a cable. So for 20 fixtures, they had 20 cables which can do nothing but just dimmer control. And various fixtures could be controlled and life was pretty hectic until, with time, modern digital lighting system was born which needed one cable as a line to control multiple fixtures. Let's say we have few fixtures laid here, all connected properly, and we know how they can listen to us, but how do we communicate with these specific fixtures? Maybe give it a name or call it often when we need. This is where the addressing system comes in handy. Let's say we want to address this fixture to channel number 1. And then I connect this controller's output to the input of this fixture. Daisy chain. This is a great time to learn this beautiful way called daisy chain. This way, you take a DMX output signal from a controller and connect it to an input of a lighting fixture. Then you connect the DMX output from the first fixture and connect it to the second fixture's DMX input and continue the chain connecting multiple fixtures like this. A little bit risky, but I'm going to tell you a better way in the later part of this video. This addressing system is called DMX, which stands for Digital Multiplex. Boring. In classic ages, even now, many fixtures have dip switches for addressing. Modern ones have digital displays, some even have touch functions. If you are stuck with your grandpa's fixtures, I'm going to put a link where you could convert DMX addresses into dip switches. So, 512 of these DMX addresses make one universe. So if you have many fixtures under one limited universe, you can group all your stage LEDs while you keep your moving heads to unique address so that you have more control on those moving heads. So these cables are called DMX cables and these ports are called DMX ports. Don't get confused with audio cables. They are just different by the build quality and material. Yes, you can work with them, but you're going to run with a problem eventually, sooner or later. DMX cables and connection can be of two types, 3-pin and 5-pin. So there is a silly argument about what 5-pin can do that 3-pin cannot do, but for now just note that it works same. So a controller is sending DMX output using a DMX cable and it is connected to the input of the first fixture, and another cable is connected to the DMX output port of that fixture and that is connected to the DMX input of next fixture. A connection like that is called daisy chain. So using daisy chain, we connect multiple fixtures. At the end of a chain, we use a device called terminator to terminate the signal flow so that it cannot travel backwards and create chaos. Many of the modern fixtures have the feature inbuilt. We can go really long. But what happens if the chain is broken somewhere in the middle? That is why we use DMX splitter, which works like a multiplug, but for DMX. Splitters also help to boost up your DMX signal if the chain is long. When we are working with big number of fixtures, the addresses in the universe runs out. To manage or add more fixtures, we use universe 2, universe 3 and so on. So we have all these thick heavy cables, 3 or 4 universe or 16 universe traveling from control panel to stage. So many cables, so chaos. In modern days, DMX transmission got really simple. Remember I told you that DMX data is not that heavy like audio data? There comes this modern communication protocol called ArtNet. ArtNet uses very commonly available basic network cables and connectors to transfer data. That means all the heavy cables that are traveling to your stage can be turned into one Cat6 cable. How amazing is that? Not only that, now you can control your visual guy can control your color. Everyone is synchronized on a mood board or a color palette. So we have a lot of lights and we want to make a great show. But how do we take creative time and program the light show beforehand? Let's say I want to design and program a show for 3 months. How do I get all the fixture and stage equipments to do so? There's a way called pre-visualization for lights that can start with a basic lighting pre-visualizer built inside a desk, or this can be a full-fledged lighting simulation software such as Depends, Capture, WYSIWYG, L8. We can make the stage virtually, add fixture, address them. Then we can watch the visualization and program and save cues. On the show day, we just connect the lights and then boom! This channel focuses on anything and everything that we, the stage people, lighting designers, VJs, stage creators, audio guys, AV engineers, we all want to hear. Subscribe for more awesome videos coming up in this channel. Let me know in the comment below if you want me to make more lighting videos let's say more in-depth or more into fixtures next time. In the meantime, check out this video next, which is going to blow up your mind. See you in the next video.